Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And why, I hear you asking, do I appear to be happy, smiling, almost laughing? I walk forth with a smile on my face and a song in my heart. I've just read something. It's something that this channel, I personally, have been saying for, well, since forever. Since absolutely forever. And it comes to pass. There is an article here. We're going to look at this article. And it's what I've been saying, because I've been calling these people, Humza, Yousaf, Lorna Slater and all that, and I've always been calling them morons. And it's quite easy to see why, because everything they do is moronic. It is absolutely mindlessly stupid. But I've been doing that, and that's me, and I've been doing it. And you've been following me. The regular people will be following me. They all know I've got a very low opinion. Very low opinion of all politicians, but particularly these morons in the SNP and the Greens. And so when I read this article, I alighted on this article. It is literally out. It's only out, a couple of hours at this point, 2 hours. I don't know how I missed it when it came out. But when it came out, and I saw it a few minutes ago, and I went, I've got to do a video on this. Because it backs up what I've said. It absolutely confounds the hell out of anyone who thinks they can possibly vote for the SNP. And it just takes away all the arguments they have. I was right. You were right. We're all right because we all know the truth. And now the truth is out there and it's time to rejoice in it. And here we are. It's a Friday afternoon. It's a bank holiday weekend. I've got nothing to do apart from make a few videos. I'm going to walk the dog. I think we'll take my wife out for a meal tomorrow lunchtime. Perhaps, who knows? Even if it's nice, have a barbecue. God help us, hope so. But anyway, this will all be done in the joyous knowledge that ultimately we were right. Please enjoy this video. And if you do please hit that subscribe button. We're getting very close to that target of 5,000 subscribers. Love to be able to do it. So if you're a regular viewer and you haven't done it yet, let this video be the one. Because this will please you. This will make you happy. And in your joy, hit that subscribe button. Oh, and all of you, hit the like button. Here goes. And trust me, it made me laugh. Let's have a look at that headline. Let's just leave that headline there. Just for a moment. Let's savour it. Let's savour every beautiful word of that headline. Humza Yousaf, not intellectual enough to stop the SNP administration from toppling. Well, dumbs are useless. Never a fitter name. The First Minister has been widely tipped to lead the SNP to election extinction due to his reputation for being incompetent, which former Tory MSP Sir Adam Tompkins has seen firsthand. We all know this. There is nothing new here because we've seen him in every job he's ever had completely turn it into a dog's breakfast. At every opportunity where there is a choice, he unflinchingly and unerringly chooses the wrong way. He will make the wrong decision. He will go the wrong way. He will hire the wrong person. He will put the wrong nut on the wrong bolt. How this man even knows how to operate a suit is well beyond my limited capacity for understanding. He is such a brainless moron. And yet he has failed to the very, very top. But now other people are seeing it for what it is. He's a moron. So Humza Yousaf has been labelled easily led and not intellectual enough to stop his SNP administration from eventually toppling in a scathing attack from a former MSP. The new First Minister has faced a baptism of fire since taking over the role, as his popularity rating has plummeted amid complaints he is not as good a politician as his predecessor Nicola Sturgeon. And I've always maintained, and I shall always maintain, that even though I cannot stand Sturgeon on a personal basis, I disagree with virtually every policy she has. I disagree with her outlook on life. But I will not take away from one thing. She was a truly excellent politician. She played that game, and she played to win. He doesn't even know what game he's playing. He thinks politics is a game of chess. Politics is a game of 5-dimensional chess on 3 different boards against 8 different players. He's playing Ludo without a dice. That's the difference. Anyway, Tom Adams, former MSP, has launched his own attack on Mr. Yousaf, along with everyone else, really. We're all doing it. Drawing on his experience of working with him on the Justice Committee. The SNP leader was the Justice Secretary for 3 years between 2018 and 2021, where some truly awful decisions were made. And we're seeing those now with the letting of 20-year-old men walk free after doing terrible things to children. Anyway, he spearheaded the controversial hate crime bill, which has still not been put into action. And you want to hope it never is, because it is as bad as what I'm about to explain. I could see you, with a partner, friend or whatever, chum, sitting in your house, privately discussing something. I cannot hear what you're saying, but I can make an assumption that what you're discussing is hate crime. It's about me or about people like me or whatever. I can make that assumption. I can go to the police, who are then legally bound to investigate. That is the depth that this law plummets to. It is that bad. Anyway, that's for another video on another day. We're just enjoying here the dimness of Humza useless. Anyway, critics of the legislation claimed it would criminalise free speech, which could see Scots being arrested for saying something deemed hateful in their own homes. I've just said this. Speaking on the Hollywood Sources podcast, Mr. Tompkins was scathing of Mr. Yousaf's leadership skills, as he hinted at him being a man to bring down the SNP-led Scottish government, because he hasn't got a brain cell. He said, I worked very closely with Humza Yousaf for 6 months in the Scottish Parliament when I was convener of the Justice Committee, and he was the second Cabinet Secretary for Justice. I worked very closely with him on all 3 bills, the most important and controversial of which was the hate crime bill. And what I learned about the way he operates and about how his mind works during that period was that he is incredibly easily led. He's a bear of very little brains, you know. He's easily led by an interviewer. He's easily led by journalists. He's also easily led by whatever pressure groups seek to lobby him. And he's very easily led by the civil service. Oh, they must love him. The civil service love people like him. I do not believe at all that he has the intellectual or political resources within him to turn any of this around. I think what we're seeing in these first few weeks of the Yousaf administration is what we're going to see until that administration eventually topples over, which it will. And I think he is right. I'm surprised, to be honest, it has lasted this long. Anyone with intelligence would have got rid of the Greens. Anyone with a leadership, ability would have got rid of the Greens. And a proper leader would have united the party immediately after the election. Anyone with an ounce of political nous would have brought Kate Forbes in. He didn't do that because, as we know, he has the IQ of a mushroom. Already the First Minister is facing mutiny within his own party from MPs who are dissatisfied with a lack of a clear plan to fight the next Westminster election. And that may not be his only mutiny. And he's facing electoral troubles in Rutherglen and Hamilton West, which he has been unable to find a good candidate to fight the by-election, which is likely to happen due to Margaret Ferrier's expected suspension. See that video I did last night. That came out late, and so probably didn't get as wide a spread as it could, because I think people were probably in bed. But that went on, and that looks like a definite stitch-up. There's possibly, and rumours of, a stitch-up between the SNP and the Tories, of all people. And it looks like the SNP might be doing a grubby little deal with the Tories to keep Boris Johnson in. It's unbelievable. But anyway, it's led him to launch a desperate attack on Scottish Labour, who he accused of bragging about already winning the seat, of which they are heavy favourites to do. I put my reputation on this. I said if Scottish Labour don't win the Rutherglen seat, then you can all come on here and mock me, and I will let sit up all of it because I deserve it. However, I'm that confident that Labour will win that seat. That's how much I'm going to do. I'll give you a day. You can put anything up, whatever. I will read them out. That's how bad it is. I will read out any insult to me. That's how strongly I think Labour are going to win this. Anyway, speaking to LBC on Friday, Mr. Yousaf said the Labour Party have already decided before a by-election is even called that they've won it. And that's complacency. Oh no, it isn't. That's Labour looking at the seat and then looking at the opposition. Let's put it this way. If you're Manchester United and you are drawn in the FA Cup and you're going to, some tiny village team, effectively, a bunch of plumbers that play, in the 15th tier or something. Let's face it, you're sitting there, you're going there, you're going to win, aren't you? Especially if it's at home. You're going to win. And it's not complacency, it's you're going to win. You've looked at the opposition, you went, that's it. Anyway, he said, we will never take the people of Scotland for granted in the way that Scottish Labour has done. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? You have taken the people in Scotland for granted for 16 years and you have screwed them over for 16 years. Just look at everything you've ever touched as the SNP and it is being destroyed, dismantled and broke because exactly that. You take people for granted. You don't care about them. Anyway, he says it shows me their hubris. Hubris? Oh my God. Surprised you even know what the word means. We won't display a level of arrogance that the Scottish Labour Party clearly are displaying at the moment. I'm surprised that this guy is still in his job. I'm surprised he won the election. I mean, he wasn't even the first vote, was he? He was not the first vote of most party members, and he hasn't certainly been put to the test by the Scottish people yet. So I think he has got a very, very uphill task. And I think that there will be, I really think there will be another leadership challenge before, not maybe before the Westminster elections, but I think before the Holyrood elections. I don't think he'll be there for Holyrood. I think Westminster elections will go appallingly bad. The 27 seats could be gone, maybe. And at that point, there'll be another challenger. He'll either step down or he will be edged out, put it that way. And I don't think he is. And he hasn't got the nous to see this. He hasn't got the understanding. He certainly isn't an intelligent man. He doesn't understand. You can see people asking questions and you just see the eyes glaze. It's like, I'm hearing words, but I don't know what the words mean. That's how he is. You don't see him thinking. That's the difference. When you're talking to someone, you can see them hearing what you say, cogitating, working out what you said, working out a response, and then responding. With him, it's just like a goldfish, isn't it? Blah, 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 blah. He hasn't got the intellect. And how has he got to be leader? By default. Who knows? But the SNP need to do something. The membership need to save their party. They need to get him out. But it'll be fun. It's going to be so much fun watching this. I mean, you shouldn't mock the afflicted. And so we've got to say, normal people who aren't intellectually bright, and that's fine. We all meet them. But you don't give them authority. He's got authority. So, of course, we should be able to ridicule him and everything he does. So where I wouldn't normally mock people for whatever reason that they have, whatever difficulties they have and things like that. And I don't do that. I don't like it. People are human beings. Human beings have rights and freedoms and everything. Politicians, not so much. They chose to do that. And so, yes, we will run him out of town because he is a moron. Anyway, I shall round that bit off. I shall come up and we'll finish the video. But it is absolutely gratifying to see that we are not alone in our very low opinion of the mental capacity of an absolute lunatic. Coming up. So how long do we think? Will he last until the Westminster election? Will he go after the Westminster election? Or will he try and hang on all the way to the Holyrood elections in 2025, 26, isn't it? Whatever. I can't see him lasting. I don't even know if he'll make it to the Westminster elections. I think people in the party are starting to understand that a mistake has been made. You don't put a fat-tongued, dribbling idiot in a position of authority and expect anything to go right. And unfortunately, they've put a fat-tongued, dribbling idiot in charge, and everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. And even things that couldn't possibly go wrong have gone wrong. And that's because they've gone wrong on his watch. Because he isn't watching. He's sitting there looking out the window thinking when it's home time. Oh, he's having buns for tea tonight, And that's about the limit of this guy's intellect. Honestly. Couldn't operate a pair of shoes. And they make him the First Minister. Is it any wonder everything is crashing and burning in Scotland? Probably not. But he is an idiot. Other people are starting to see it. And now, of course, this will gain momentum. Everybody will be seeing him for what he is, an absolute moron. We started this. We called him the moron from day one. And yeah, there he is, getting it wronger and wronger and wronger. Because it's all right to be wrong, but he's constantly wrong on every single thing. And eventually, there's a bill to pay, and his bill will be his job. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Hasn't it been a good one? If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, especially if you're a regular long-term viewer. That was my dog. Especially if you're a regular long-term viewer who hasn't yet subscribed. Do leave a like, especially the likes. They do wonders for the algorithm. And I will leave it there until next time. So, stay safe, stay well. Don't give idiots positions of authority. It doesn't work. And goodbye.